I want to welcome everybody here this morning. We have a common goal, and our common goal is to support what I call a lifetime investment in the community of Palmdale. And that lifetime investment is certainly an individual that has got a vast array of experiences and involvement in Palmdale, not just lately, but I think we can go back 30 years, maybe longer, 40 years of involvement in our city of Palmdale. And just a couple tidbits. I mean, this gentleman is integral part of Antelope Valley College as a dean. He has a 20-year experience on the Palmdale School District. He has a 7-year, I think, tenure on the Palmdale Planning Commission. He served under Pete Knight's administration as a Palmdale Civic Authority member. I'm leaving out stuff because I don't want to take all of his thunder. But the point here is Fred Thompson is not a newcomer to the city of Palmdale. Fred Thompson has again shown what I call a lifetime of investment in our community. I'm not sure I need to say much more than that. I just want to let the community of Palmdale know that this is somebody that is given his time and energy, and he's part of the reason why we have a fabulous community. And that community really is reflective right here. So we got a great turnout today to help kick off the election of Fred Thompson to the Palmdale City Council. I can't think of a finer individual that will be a part of our team to help move our city forward. With that, I'd like to introduce Joe Davies, former councilman, to say a few words.
Okay. Where do I go? Right here. Well, I am very honored to support Fred Thompson. We've been friends for over 25 years, I'm sure longer. And you know, he was in Little Rock in 1961. He graduated from Palmdale High School 1963. And so he's a long-term resident. And I've got several adjectives that will describe him. For one, he's a bootstrap guy. He went all the way from Little Rock to a master's degree in education, and so he's got a great education. He is a very accomplished person. You know that by his having been dean at Antelope Valley College, and all this says, without talking about it really, that he's a very smart guy. Public service, you've already heard that, 7 years on the Planning Commission, most of it as the chairman, 20 years on the school board here in Palmdale, so a lot of dedicated public service. Integrity, if Fred says something, you can believe it, and if he says he's going to do something, he'll do it. All those things are attributes for a great city councilman, and you know, he's not too bad looking either. I love Palmdale, and I heartily endorse Fred Thompson, and here's putting my money where my mouth is.
Wow. Very good. Thank you.
Good city councilman.
Great job, Joe. Great job. All right, that was fabulous. What I'd like to do now is introduce Sandy Corrales from the Palmdale School District to say a few words.
Well, good morning, everyone. I too want to add my voice for support for Fred Thompson for Palmdale City Council. If you love Palmdale, you will support Fred and join us. You can see behind us here, Fred has such broad-based support, whether you live on the east side or west side of Palmdale, whatever political party, affiliation, background, Fred Thompson will support you on the Palmdale City Council. I have to tell you, I've known Fred for 25 years now. Fred served as a mentor to me when I first came and moved to the Antelope Valley and specifically to Palmdale. And I try to fashion and model my public service career after Fred Thompson's. He served 20 years on the Palmdale School Board, and when he decided to not run for office, that's when I stepped up and I ran with his support. And who do you think I asked to join me in the swearing-in ceremony? It was Fred Thompson in 2001 that swore me into office, and I was honored then, and I'm honored today to join him and make sure that Palmdale City Council has the best representation. Fred Thompson can bring that to the table. I'm going to tell you something else, that just here in the last few weeks, while people were learning of Fred Thompson's candidacy, words like Joe Davies mentioned, integrity rose to the top. Someone who's fair, someone who's willing to listen. So that's the kind of person without personal ulterior motivation that you want serving on your city council. I have to tell you, Fred Thompson will not cut and run when it comes to Palmdale. Loyalty is a factor, is a consideration that the voters should contemplate when making their choice in the November ballot. So I hope you will join me in voting for Fred Thompson for Palmdale City Council.
Wow. All right, you heard it from others. I think it's time we bring up Palmdale's Valentine present.
Wow.
I'm going to call Fred Thompson to come up and say a few words.
All right.
Thank you, thank you. First of all, I want to thank Councilmember Joe Davies, who I admire. He's a man of integrity, and he's given so much to Palmdale. If I can step in half of this man's shoes, I will be a very lucky man. And I want to say happy Valentine's Day to everyone. And before I forget, I want to introduce my wife of 40 years, Denise Thompson.
All right.
And standing next to her is my daughter, Kimberly. Let's see, before I forget, and Sandy, thank you. I mean, you flatter me endlessly.
You've helped all of us, Fred.
And I appreciate it. And I hope to continue doing that. And Mr. Mayor, thank you. It'll be a pleasure if I'm elected to serve with you on the City Council. I'm looking forward to it.
As am I.
And I want to thank all of you for coming out. I really appreciate your support, and I appreciate you being here. As mentioned, my name is Fred Thompson, and I am running for a seat on the Palmdale City Council because I believe that the city is making the right progress. They're moving in the right direction, and I want to be a part of that to help the city get where it's going. I want to mention to you that I have 4 priorities. Number 1 is jobs. We need jobs, and I want to be a part of attracting jobs here that will afford everyone in Palmdale, at least at the minimum, a middle-class living and living wage, and I think that's really important. Secondly, education is important. We must have an educated workforce with emphasis on job training. We have to be ready for the jobs that are going to eventually come in. They're going to be high-tech, so we need people who are trained to take those positions. So education is very important. I come from education, so I'm going to make that a priority. Thirdly, a safe community is really important. The Sheriff's Department here is doing an awesome job. I mean, I pick up the paper and I read about what they're doing, and they're keeping this community safe, which speaks to the quality of life that we have here. So we need them. I'm going to make that a priority of mine to make sure that they have the resources to continue to make this community a safe place in which to live. Now, lastly, community relations. I think that is really important. Communicating with people, staying in touch with the community. I am retired, so I'm ready to be a full-time councilman.
Wow.
Full-time. Accessible and highly visible in this community. So I hope to be all over the place. I'm going to use one of my college words, ubiquitous. Fred Thompson everywhere at the same time. So those are my priorities, generally speaking. And I'm looking forward to a campaign of integrity and honesty and a clean campaign. That's my pledge. And I'm just going to be Fred Thompson. And I hope that you will remember me on November the 5th, right, and vote for me. I'm ready to hit the ground and start running. Thank you.
Fred. All right, yay. Any questions? I can let him off the hook, are you? No, I'm kidding. That is great. Well, I just want to thank everybody for showing up. Thank you. And again, I think it's important that we set our sights early in this campaign, and that's what this is all about today. So thank you guys for showing up and as far as the media side. We appreciate that. Look forward to the campaign trail. Thanks.